Welcome friends to another r/IDontWorkHereLady video. I know you don't work here, but could you reach those like and subscribe buttons on the bottom shelf for me? I can't quite reach them. That said, our first story of the day is by Splurtosaurus. Be aware of what is attached to your person. I just read through a bunch of stories, so I thought I'd share a couple. Nothing crazy, no Karens, but funny to me. Back in the late 90s, I worked for a healthcare company in Atlanta. Our dress code was button down, button up, shirt, slacks, and leather shoes. On lunch break, I ran into a Kroger to grab some lunch. I got distracted in the freezer section, and I kept hearing someone say, "Excuse me." I turned around and it's a little old lady talking to me. I said hi, and then she asked me to retrieve something from on top of the freezers. I politely told her I didn't work here. Then she asked why I was wearing a badge. I look at my shirt and realize I'm wearing a blue badge, which looks very similar to the blue Kroger badges. I helped her out by finding an actual Kroger employee. Fast forward to 2018 and I'm doing the weekend dad fix crap in my house. I run to Home Depot to quickly grab something I needed. I'm in the irrigation section and I hear the voice, "Excuse me." I turn around and it's a lady asking me to help her cut some PVC pipe. I tell her I don't work here and she says, "Why do you have a measuring tape attached to your belt?" Well, I'd been measuring crap all day at home and I guess I forgot to take it off. I helped her find a real employee. We laughed about that one. Honestly, the first one's understandable because you're going about the hustle and bustle of your job on your one lunch break. And the second also is honestly just as understandable. You're just doing your dad thing, fixing things up around the house. You're in absolute dad fixing mode. You got the measuring tape attached to your belt. Probably got your old shirt that has paint stains on it on. Let me ask you guys, if you went to like a Home Depot or a Lowe's or something like that, and you saw somebody walking by in average dress, but they had a measuring tape clearly attached to their belt, would that measuring tape on their belt be enough to make you think that they work there in some capacity? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. This next story is by FitSouth9344, getting chased in the hardware store. For reference, I'm assigned female at birth, 19, and have very recognizable hair. To set the scene, it's almost 7 a.m. I just finished working the graveyard shift at Midwest Colt gas station. Context, we wear light blue uniform shirts with the logo on the left side and black pants. I decided to head over to Midwest hardware store. More context, they wear deeper blue and black uniform shirts and black pants with blue aprons. For a good wander before I headed to the gym. Wanted to look at paint colors and toys. I decided to pop over by the Hall of Lights to satisfy my brain with all the bright colors. As I'm heading back towards the main aisle, I'm stopped at the end of the aisle I was walking down. There was an old man walking past, so I stopped to let him walk on by. Then he himself had stopped. "Hey, where are your some objects that I'd forgotten?" I say, "Sorry, I work at Midwest Colt gas station." I replied and sped away. I hate confrontation and didn't want to experience any of the possible results there could be. Infinite possibilities of entitled people rushed through my brain, and I wanted to be away from that man. What happened next was something I wish I'd never had experienced. It was terrifying. The old man decided to follow me. As I rush away, going down random aisles and whatnot, I spy a larger aisle full of staff, which I go down, hoping that he would ask an actual staff member instead of continuing his chase on me. I run down towards the large kitchen appliances and then race around to their small grocery section. This old man hot on my heels. I make eye contact with a worker stocking the shelves. She saw me, then glanced at the old guy, and then jogged away toward the back area where they keep all the ladders behind the paint section. I had finally lost him. At this point in time, I'm having a panic attack and remove my face mask to catch my breath while keeping an eye out for this old man. I was shaking and texting my friends frantically with what just happened. Now, looking back on the situation, which happened yesterday, I think the old guy might not have heard me properly, but I was literally panicking, so logic was not on my brain. This was one of the scariest situations I've ever had, and getting out of the store was so tense. Every old guy I saw made my heart rate go up. Most of the older guys I saw were workers, which was great, but I got out of there after buying something random. I would have felt bad if I didn't buy anything, but yeah. One of my worst experiences in Midwest hardware store. I can't help but feel bad for OP in this situation. Honestly, I just feel bad for anybody that, when faced with a little bit of confrontation like this, it makes them panic and freak out and run. I think honestly the most fascinating part of this story though is that OP felt compelled to buy something because they otherwise would have felt bad if they didn't buy anything at all. It just does make me think about the times where I do go into a store, don't find what I'm looking for, or change my mind, and I think about how awkward I do feel walking right out those front doors. Usually the stores have 1 or 2 employees by the doors, and I walk past them in my brain like, do they think I'm shoplifting? I bet they think I'm shoplifting. Our next story is by Material Wrongdoer 81. She actually praised me at my store. I worked at a department store in the mid-90s. We had to wear a red vest. This is relevant later. On my way home after work one day, I remember that I forgot to pick up a few things. I stopped at a different department store. It was winter and I didn't feel like taking my coat off to take my vest off, so I just zipped up my coat and went in. I was doing some shopping when a lady approached me and asked where something was. I said I don't work here, and she pointed to my belly. I looked down and part of my vest was showing. I unzipped my coat and showed her what company I worked for. She was embarrassed, smiled, and asked if I could help her. I was tired from working and said, fine, and took her to what she wanted. She thanked me, took my name, and said she would let my manager know next time she was at my store. I wrote it off as just her backpedaling as her way to end her embarrassment. Fast forward 2 weeks, my manager approached me and asked if I helped someone at X. I told her what happened, and my manager was as shocked as I was and thanked me for stealing a customer from the competition. All I'm thinking about is this manager coming over like, yeah, good going, you stole a customer from the competition. Now get back to work. This next story is by South Statistician 447 that he wants chips, but I don't work here. I am a 6'5", 300-pound guy, and I had to grab a few things from the Big Blue store that rhymes with haul cart. By the time I was in the chip aisle, I was already tired since I had a 1.5 mile walk to get there and another to get home, but I want something to go with lunch the next day. So I started browsing my options. While I'm trying to decide, this 5'4", maybe 5'5" woman comes up to me with her face in her phone and just points to a bag of veggie sticks on the shelf. This knobby phone lady says, "Give me those now, I'm in a hurry." I say, no. She says, "What did you say? I'll have you fired." I say, "Good luck with that, cause I don't work here." I mean, do I look like I work here? People, I kid you not, I looked like the furthest thing from an employee. Faded red shirt, worn out jeans, and boots. You would need to be blind to think I work there. As I said, no real drama. She finally looked up from her phone and saw my "I'm done with you" face. But as a last F you to her attitude, I put the bag of veggie sticks she wanted at the back of the top shelf, way out of her reach, then turned and walked away, giving her the bird. So yeah, not overly exciting, but it felt good to deal out a small victory over a Karen. Well, while OP says that you have to be blind to think you work there, you just said this Karen was walking around with their face buried in their phone. They practically are blind. I hope they don't drive around while texting. To me, this seems like a probable first-round pick selection here of who's gonna rear-end somebody because they got Facebook up on their phone while operating a moving multiple 1,000-pound piece of machinery. This next story is by LX23-2K20. Not even the right store. This isn't a super long story, but it's definitely interesting, and I remember it word for word to this day. Back in August of 2021, right before the start of the college semester, I was browsing around a local resale store for the heck of it, despite the fact that I had $5 in my account. As I browsed the desks and large furniture, an older, frizzled, gray-haired woman approached me with a cheap-looking tablet in her hand. Our interaction went as follows. She says, "This darn phone won't work." Me, after realizing she was talking to me, said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did you try talking to the store you bought it from to get that fixed?" She says, "Well, I went to so-and-so gadget shop at the mall in so-and-so and bought this tablet phone. It cost me $70. $70. Isn't that ridiculous?" Me, in my thoughts and invested in this woman's situation for some reason, said, "Oh great, she probably got scammed or wasn't even educated by the salesman." I say, "That sounds like a cheap price. Honestly, it might not be a good quality." She says, "Have you ever even had a tablet?" I say, "No, not since I was 13. She says, "Wow, I cannot believe this. Well, thanks for no help." And then she proceeded to huff away, leaving me confused and honestly a little bit hurt. Maybe this lady's using the wrong kind of tablet. Maybe what she needs is some of the ones you take with water in the morning. Might solve a lot more issues than her darn tablet phone not working right. Our next story is by Nox Kyoki. Nothing spectacular, but it was the one good thing to happen on the longest Monday ever. Yes, this happened today, Monday, January 12th. Yesterday was Monday the 11th, and the day before that was Monday the 10th, the longest Monday ever. I do inventory. We wear a specific uniform with our company name on it. It looks nothing like most of the stores we work in. Target's allowed pretty much any shade of red now, but they still wear khakis or khaki-colored pants. I think, and we don't. Today, I was in a well-known hardware store where they don't wear any shade of red and a vest. I'm working in the store, but I don't work at the store, and this makes some people mad. All morning I've been fending off customers. I'm sorry, but I'm just inventory. Most people apologized, a few walked off in a huff. Not this woman. She says, "Ma'am," me trying to focus on my counting so I don't lose my place. I was counting individual reciprocating saw blades. They're about as thick as a credit card, so it's easy to lose count if you have a lot of them. She says, "Ma'am." Me, finally done with the one I was working on, said, "I'm sorry, I'm just doing inventory." She says, "How do you know what I was going to ask?" Literally never had anyone question me like this. If they're wanting to ask me about something like the knee pads I'm wearing, they'll just be like, "Oh, actually, I was just wondering where you got your knee pads." And I'll let them know where I got the awesome knee pads that my coworkers think make me look like a transformer. They're bulky, but they're flat, so I'm more stable and my knees don't hurt when I'm on a hard floor. I say, "I always have customers asking me where things are in whatever store I'm in." She lets out a big huff and says, "Well, I don't have a question for you." And she turns and walks off. I had to bite my tongue to keep myself from saying, "Oh, honey, you're breaking my heart." Whatever you had to ask, whatever you had to say, I really don't care. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to get crap done. And you're here whining about me not wanting to answer whatever question you may have had? I honestly don't think she actually had any other question than asking where something was. When a coworker came over to the area I was working in, I told him what happened and we had a good laugh. Then my ladder broke. Stupid Monday. I don't think there's any winning for inventory people like that. I think they literally deserve to have some kind of vest or shirt that just screams purely inventory restocker on the back of it in big, bold text. And then for fun, if you're still questioned about it and you can turn around, on the front in much smaller text it says, "No, seriously, all we do is restock inventory. We don't know where anything is. We cannot help you." Now I think that would make for some great I Don't Work Here Lady stories. And our final story of the day is by Karen Angry. That's very unlawful. That's what she said. Gosh dang it. Remember when there was no COVID-19? Yeah, that was fun for me and my daughter. However, this one Karen looked at me dead serious in the eyes, and I'm just gonna tell you guys the full story. One day, when we were in a mall, I and my daughter went to a GameStop store, and she also loved gaming. We were gonna get a Minecraft copy for her Xbox that she got from her friend's mom. We were wearing plain clothes with gaming text on it. Then this Karen stared dead serious directly in my eyes and said, "Shoplifting, shoplifting. I finally caught someone stealing with my own eyes." I said, "What do you mean? I'm not shoplifting, I'm just buying." She says, "That's very unlawful. Lying about shoplifting? Unlawful." I say, "I have the money in my left hand." Karen yells, "Manager!" The manager asks, "What is it, fellow workers?" The Karen looks defeated, and I say, "I know this place well, and only the workers who work at this place can call the manager." She never looked at me again. Luckily, the manager heard everything and cut the price tag of the Minecraft copy in half. Moral of the story, rules. I'm not gonna lie, this story escalated very quickly here. I'm guessing that this didn't take place in the US, especially because I can't imagine any place in the US not having a weirdly safe haven for these Karens to go, "Manager, manager, I need a manager," only for a manager to saunter over and in their best Steve Buscemi impression go, "How do you do, fellow workers? Hey, bottom line though, if you're buying Minecraft, it's nice to be able to save a little bit there and get half off of it." Honestly, if I could go to the store and have a Karen experience like that every single time to get half off of whatever I'm buying, I would gladly take that almost every time. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So of all these stories I've read today, which is your favorite and why? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you haven't yet, if you could like and subscribe, that would mean a lot to me. Whatever you do, whether it's liking, subscribing, turning notifications on, all of it helps grow this channel and I appreciate the heck out of it. So until next time, I'll see you all tomorrow with some more stories.